Welcome friends, today we will discuss the veto powers of President. Now, what exactly will be the content of this particular video? Article 111, then we will discuss what exactly is veto power, why this veto power is given, then we will compare Indian President veto powers versus American President, different vetos which are there. Then we will obviously discuss what are the limitations and as usual conclusion and mains and prelims questions. So let us see first. Article 111 of Indian Constitution says, whenever a bill is passed by both the houses of parliament, it shall be presented to President. And then President shall declare either he assent to the bill or he withhold the assent therefrom. In simple diagrammatic form, if I want to show, if any bill is passed by both the houses of parliament, it will go to President. And then what President can do with the bill? One, he can assent to the bill. If he gives the assent to the bill converts into law. Second, he can withhold the assent for time being. And third, if it is not a money bill, he can send it for reconsideration. That itself means he can send the bill for reconsideration only once. But listen carefully. If the bill is sent back for reconsideration to Parliament and if Parliament passes the bill with or without changes, by simple majority, then in second stage President shall give his assent. Means in second stage President will have to give assent. There is no option for him. So at the most, how many times he can send a bill for reconsideration? Answer is only once. So as per Article 111, whenever bill passed by Parliament, it goes to President. President can give assent. Assent converts the bill into law. He can withhold, or third, if it is not a money bill, he can send it for reconsideration. But if the same bill is again passed by simple majority in both the houses of Parliament with or without changes, then President shall give his assent. No doubt, one thing which is very important, that within how many days he has to give the assent, time limit is not specified. I repeat, time limit is not specified for any bill in the Constitution. Then comes the next question. So what is the objective of this veto power? Veto means simply no, or in Hindi we call it as nakaradhikar, to say no to the bill. Why this particular power is given to President? The first and most important answer is to prevent a hasty legislation. That if suppose President feels that the legislation is done in a hasty manner by Parliament, then that can be prevented by this veto power. And second, if President thinks that a bill, if it passes and becomes a law, it may be unconstitutional. To prevent an unconstitutional legislation, veto power is given. So I hope both the objectives are clear. First, to stop the legislation which is in a hasty manner, and second, to prevent the legislation which may be unconstitutional. Then comes the next. Okay, so what are the different veto powers? Because in the preliminary examination they ask this question. Discuss what are the different veto powers enjoyed by Indian President or compared with US President. First of all, let us discuss. Absolute veto, as the name itself suggests, absolute means withholding the assent to the bill passed by legislature. मतलब यहाँ पे absolute veto will be enjoyed by President. Qualified veto, which can be overridden by special majority of the houses. Now listen carefully. Qualified veto is not enjoyed by Indian President. It is enjoyed by American President. So number 2 is not available for Indian President. Third, suspensive veto, which can be overridden by simple majority in Parliament. Means what? Listen carefully. As I said, when a bill is passed by Parliament and when it goes to President, now don't you think when President send the bill for reconsideration, and if it is again passed by both the houses, that itself means your veto is overridden by Parliament by simple majority. And then last is pocket veto. Here, President is not taking any action on the bill. Means neither he is saying yes, nor he is saying no, nor he is sending for reconsideration. He is not doing anything with the bill. That is, bill is simply lying on his table. That's the reason it is used normally in name as pocket veto. Now, as I said, the President of India doesn't enjoy qualified veto, which is enjoyed only by US President. Then comes the next. Let us discuss one by one veto with examples. Now, what is pocket veto? As I said, in case of pocket veto, he is neither saying yes nor saying no, neither he is sending for reconsideration, neither he rejects the bill. That means he is not doing anything with the bill. Whereas in case of US President, listen carefully, in case of US President, President has to rescind the bill within 10 days. So don't you think, compared to US President, at least in this particular case, Indian President enjoy more power, at least in this particular case. So is there any example of it? Yes, in 1986, President Gani Jal Singh exercised the pocket veto regarding Indian Post Office Amendment Bill. Then comes the next question. So what was the bill and why he decided to exercise the veto? Now it is said that in Indian Post Office Amendment Bill, there were certain provisions which were imposing restrictions on freedom of press, and that's the reason President of India decided not to give assent, neither he sent it for reconsideration nor he rejected the bill. So simply it was lying on his table. He exercised the pocket veto. So this is the first example. Now, what are the other reasons he said that don't you think this particular bill, it was said that it was giving extensive power to intercept your personal communication. So it is said, these are the allegations. So this is said that there are certain things which gives more powers to intercept your communication, personal communication. If you are intercepted, don't you think it's a straightaway violation to right to privacy? And right to privacy is nothing a part of Article 21, which is clearly superseded by Supreme Court in Puttaswamy case in 2017. But this happened in 1986. I hope pocket veto is clear. Next, what is suspensive veto? As I said, when any bill is passed by both the houses of Parliament and then it goes to President. Now here if President gives assent, it converts into law. He can withhold or he can send it back. How many times? Once. But if he returns the bill to the Parliament for reconsideration, and if Parliament again sends the bill with or without changes, and it passes the bill by simple majority, then obviously President shall give his assent. That itself means when he sends the bill for reconsideration, that itself means he is using his suspensive veto. Now, does that mean he can use suspensive veto everywhere? No. Money bill is always going to be exception. He cannot send back money bill for reconsideration. So, is there any example if they ask this question in interview? Answer is yes. In 2006, there was Office of Profit Bill which was passed by Parliament. Now, you may say, sir, what is Office of Profit first of all? Let us discuss in brief in 2 minutes. Now, under Article 102 of Indian Constitution, it talks about disqualification criteria. Now, within that, there is one that if a person is holding any office of profit, then he cannot remain as a member of House, that is MP, or in case of Assembly, it is MLA. Now comes the next question. So, why this bill was introduced then? Listen carefully. Who decides office of profit? As per the rules, it is decided by Parliament by law. So, in this case, what happens? Suppose today is 2024. Now, if you are holding office of profit today, obviously you cannot remain as a member of Parliament. But suppose if I bring the bill to protect you and if I pass it from 2023, then that office is no longer office of profit. What exactly I have done? I have passed the bill with retrospective effect. Can Parliament do it? Yes. So at that time, President of India was APJ Abdul Kalam. He said the retrospective clause, there is a possibility it may be challenged in the court. And that's the reason he sent the bill back to both the houses of Parliament. But the bill was again passed, and in second time, as I said, President shall give his assent. Next, what is absolute veto then? As I said, absolute veto means here he is absolutely enjoying this particular power. Power of President to withhold his assent to bill passed by Parliament. Now, is there any cases? Yes. In 2 cases, he has absolute. Where? If the bill is passed by Parliament, which is a private member bill. Now, then comes the next question. So, what do you mean by private member? Listen carefully. Private member does not mean me and you. Private member means anyone other than government in the house. Anyone other than government. Second, when the cabinet resigns before the president gives his assent, means suppose the bill is passed by houses, But when it presented to president, meanwhile cabinet resigned. So obviously there is a possibility of new cabinet, and president always act on the advice of council of minister. So if new cabinet says that don't give assent, then in that case it is not binding on him. Then comes the next question. So is there any example of it? Yes. In 1954, Dr. Rajendra Prasad withheld his assent to Pepsi appropriation bill. Now you may say, so what was the bill was regarding? Listen carefully. Pepsi bill was regarding appropriation bill. Now, suppose if center impose Article 356 in state. Now, whenever there is a 356, obviously all state powers will go in the hands of the president. Then can parliament make laws in case of state subject? Yes. But here suppose parliament is passing certain things regarding budget or anything else. But meanwhile, when it goes to assent for president, meanwhile the emergency is invoked. In that case, is it binding on president to give assent? Answer is no. So here president has clearly said that president rule was revoked, so it's not binding on him to give assent. Second incident was regarding R. Venkatraman in 1991. He withheld the assent regarding salary allowances and pension of members of parliament. Now why he decided? Because as per the bill, there are certain rules. As per the bill was passed by parliament on the last day before the dissolution of Lok Sabha. Then you may say, so it is possible. But listen carefully, without obtaining the previous recommendation of president, what does it mean? See, every bill has certain rules, and suppose if this bill required the previous recommendation of president, and if you are not taking the recommendation of president, then is it binding on president to sign the bill? Answer is no. Next. So what is a veto over state bills? Does president enjoys the veto over state bill? Answer is yes. President of India enjoys veto over state bills also. Which article? And these articles are very important because these articles are already asked in the exam, and these articles are news in current affairs for last 1 year or more than 1 year. If you read Article 200, it straightaway says whenever any bill is passed by state legislature, Vidhan Sabha, or if there is a Vidhan Parishad, then it is state legislature. It goes to governor. Now what governor can do with the bill? One, he can assent the bill. Second, he can withhold the assent to the bill. Third, he can return the bill for consideration. Or fourth, there is one more option available to governor, that is he can reserve the bill for consideration of president. Now listen carefully. If the bill goes to president as per Article 201 now, as per Article 200, governor can reserve the bill, and as per Article 201, what president can do with the bill? Here, president can either say yes to the bill, second, he can say no to the withhold the bill, or he can send it for reconsideration. Now, if second time bill is passed by a state legislature, is it binding on president to assent? No, it is not at all binding on president. That itself means here president of India enjoys absolute veto over state bills. That means it can go either way. But when president sent to state assembly, the state assembly will have to consider the bill within 6 months, and again they have to present to president. I hope it is clear. So president of India enjoys absolute veto over state bill. Answer is yes. Then comes the next. So are there any limitation for this veto power, or this veto power absolute? No, there are limitations. Let us see two limitations. First of all, money bill. Under Article 110, there is a definition of money bill. 111, as we have discussed, assent to money bill. And 109, it talks about passage of money bill. Listen carefully. Money bill can be only introduced in Lok Sabha with prior permission of president. Means without permission of president, you cannot introduce money bill in Lok Sabha. This is clear. And whether a bill is money bill or not, that is decided by Lok Sabha speaker. Then it will go to Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha at the most can suggest recommendations which are not binding on Lok Sabha. And Rajya Sabha can set the bill back within 14 days. If they don't, it is considered as pass. Now when the bill go to president, obviously here president cannot send it for reconsideration. President shall give his assent. But again, within how many days? Answer is not specified in constitution. So number one is money bill. These are the limitation. And second is Constitution Amendment Bill under Article 368. Article 368 talks about amendment to the Constitution. Why amendment provision is given? Because Constitution is not a static document, it's a living document. Constitution amendments are required with the time. And whenever there is a constitution amendment, as per 24th Constitutional Amendment Act, it is clearly said that it is obligatory for President to give his assent to Constitutional Amendment Bill. That itself means if there is any Constitutional Amendment Bill, here President cannot send it for reconsideration. He shall give his assent. But again the question comes in, within how many days? Answer is not specified in the Constitution. So these are the few limitations of veto powers of President of India. Then comes the last point. So what is the conclusion over it? Now what is exactly is veto? Which articles, provisions are related with it? What is the objective? To prevent the hasty legislation, as I said, first, and second, to prevent any law which may be unconstitutional. Maybe I use the word. Then comes the next. Sir, are there any limitations to veto power? As I said, yes, money bill and constitutional amendment bill. Here he cannot use the veto, but a time limit is not specified in Constitution. Then comes the next. So is there any possibility of question in the mains? Yes. They may ask you question, discuss veto powers of President with examples, means which are the veto power Indian President enjoys. For example, absolute, suspensive and pocket. Qualified veto is not enjoyed by Indian President, it is enjoyed by US President. Then comes the next, which of the following veto power is not available to President of India? First, absolute, second, suspensive, third, qualified, and fourth, pocket veto. If you know the answer, write down the answer in comment box. If you like the video, please like, share and subscribe it. Thank you very much.